Well, hello and welcome to the Informed Traveler Podcast, a weekly travel podcast where our goal is to help you become a more informed traveler. And I'm your host, Randy Sharman. Travel expert Onanta Forbes has returned from her semi-world cruise, and I've returned from last week's Travel South USA conference in Louisville, Kentucky. So in a few seconds, we'll get caught up on the latest travel news about traveling to the U.S., and then we'll chat with travel writer and blogger Linda King about traveling to the island of Bora Bora in the South Pacific. She is the founder of the Smart Travelista website, smarttravelista.com, and that's where you'll find her blog about the 5 best attractions to visit in Bora Bora. And Ken Stewart from Crowfoot Travel Solutions will be along with a few destination ideas and travel deals with our weekly roundup. But first, let's kick things off chatting with travel expert Onanta Forbes, who joins us each week to discuss some of the travel news and travel trends. You can follow her adventures on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Onanta Forbes. OnantaForbes.com is her website. Hello, Onanta. It's been quite a while since I chatted with you. You are back home. I am back home. So welcome back.
Yeah, good to be home. Always good to come home to Canada. It's good to sleep in your own bed. Good to have, I haven't actually cooked in a long time. So I actually, turned on my stove, turned on my oven and enjoyed even cooking. So it's nice to be home.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's one of the things, right? When you're away, no matter what you're doing, depending on your accommodations, but yeah, you don't really cook much, and you were gone for quite a long time.
Yeah, so from mid-January till the first part of April, so just 10 days shy of 3 months. So, and the goal was it was us being snowbirds, getting away from winter, and we came
Mm-hmm.
back last week, and it was the weather's good. Can't complain. So, if it snows, it'll be just a little burst, I'm sure. But yeah, so a lot of people do snowbird. It is something to consider if you are retired. You have the resources and you have the opportunity to go. There's lots of places in the world to go. Cruising is huge as
Mm-hmm.
far as longer stays. And I think I even mentioned in one of our previous shows that I was surprised at how many people were repeat world cruisers as far as grand voyages and so on. So different destinations to consider around the world.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely enjoyed having our cabin cleaned twice a day. We purchased on Holland America. You can purchase unlimited laundry, so that was
Mm-hmm.
really easy to do. Like it didn't matter how many items you had; you could put as little as you wanted or as much as you wanted. So
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't an issue. Great to have the choice of dressing up and going into the dining room, or just being casual and going to the buffet on the Lido deck for different, to enjoy some food. And one of the good things about Home America, they always offer ice cream, whether love ice cream. I just love ice cream. And so you had that all the time. And then, some of our destinations were pretty hot. So that ice cream went down quite well. Enjoyed our time away. It was 42 days on a cruise, and that was the longest we've ever been on a cruise. Like
Mm-hmm.
before it was 16 days. So
Mm-hmm.
we enjoyed our days at sea. We enjoyed what you could do when, as far as activities while you were at sea, or grab a crossword and go sit on your balcony and enjoy the fresh air and just work on your crossword if you wanted. Or they have a library on board too. So that was really good because I love to read, and they had lots of different copies of different, books. So you could pick and choose what you wanted, try different authors or different genres. And if you
Mm-hmm.
didn't want it, just put it back, really. Um,
Yeah.
Movies on board. And they were first run movies. Like we saw Wicked, we saw Conclave. So it wasn't like old, there were some older movies, yes, I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
lie, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was pretty amazing as far as what we saw, like lots of different destinations, from Australia, going into Asia, going into Africa. So you can take it as little tasters for if you want to go back for a longer stay or a longer visit on a land stay.
Well, and it's interesting too. You talk about some of the destinations, and you don't even have to go that far because you can do back-to-back cruises to the Caribbean. There's Western Caribbean, there's Southern Caribbean. You can do a reposition cruise through the Panama Canal from the West Coast to the East Coast, and you'll cover 4 or 5 weeks in no time. So you don't necessarily have to go as far as you did, although that's amazing too. But if you're looking at just if that kind of not your thing to go that far, you don't have to go that far.
No, no, not at all. And it's nice because there's a lot of cruise lines out there, so there's a lot of variety and a
Hmm.
lot of choice. And with that choice comes some pretty competitive offers. So working with your travel advisor, they can tell you what is out there and they can keep an eye on different destinations or different itineraries that you may be interested in and give you a call when the time is right. And of
Hmm.
course, once you've been on one cruise, you'll get lots of mailers and
Yes.
emails, so you're not going to be out of the loop at all.
Well, you're a Mariner now, isn't that their
Yeah,
loyalty program
yeah,
for
three
Holland America?
stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
So
it
yeah,
doesn't
you
take
could go.
long.
No, you can go up to 5 stars and a couple pro cruises. You might be close. And they did have lovely little ceremonies on board for people who have sailed, quite a number of
Hmm.
nights.
Hmm.
So it's always nice to see the loyalty that somebody has to a cruise line, but just the loyalty to cruising in itself. Because for me, as a travel advisor, that's one of my most repeat and referred um, type of vacation as
Well,
far as people wanting to, go away.
cruisers will cruise, as I always say. So they're
They
a very
do.
loyal bunch.
Hmm.
Now coming home, did you have to fly through a U.S. Airport?
No, I didn't. We flew, actually, we had to fly back to, just because of the way our tickets were, we flew back to Australia from Sydney and then flew to Vancouver and Vancouver to Calgary. So, no, we did not. And it was pretty seamless as far as, getting through airports and so on. We had the luxury of having mostly direct flights, and definitely if you're going away, no matter if it's short or long, always look at the nonstop options and the
Hmm.
direct options because it just makes it a lot more easier for your body.
Hmm. Well, the reason I ask is because if you've been following the news, the travel news especially, there are lots of stories coming out about going to the U.S., traveling to the U.S., particularly for Canadians, which we're going to discuss. I just happened to come back from the United States not too long ago. I was in Louisiana and Kentucky, had an amazing time. And I will say personally, this is a personal anecdote, no issues whatsoever about getting into the U.S. from their border officials. The three questions they ask: where are you going? Why are you going? And how long are you going? Thank you. Have a nice trip. So,
Hmm.
um, and I will say too that going through the border, I know that travel is down to the U.S., but it didn't seem on the day that I was traveling that people were hesitating about traveling to the U.S. My flight was to Dallas Fort Worth. That was full. The immigration was a long, long lineup. That was my experience. But I know that some people are leery. Now, my question to you would be, do you have clients that are leery? And what do you say to them?
Well, for example, when we did notice a decline in American travel in early January after the initial announcements of the tariffs from the US. And so Canadians were looking to book away from the US for new trips. I can't say I got a lot of cancellations for already existing trips. Also, factoring in you know, in addition to the tariffs, I want to say that is that the weaker Canadian dollar is encouraging clients to
Hmm.
travel more domestically as it's more affordable. And then also you have to look at the airports and airlines that are adapting to the trend because the airlines are going to go where the interest is or where people want to go. So that you are maybe seeing some routes being cut or reducing the number of flights on a route. Um, so think about that. And as far as what I would say, as far as advice for travelers, know the rules. So, like US entry and exit rules can vary and change without notice. So, the Canadian government recommends verifying the latest requirements directly with the US embassies or consulates in Canada. You could do that online. You could talk to your travel advisor and then prepare for inspection. So, expect scrutiny at ports of entry. So this includes possible questioning and checks for your personal devices and cooperate fully. So non-compliance or withholding information could lead to denial of entry or detention. And this serves to update that a reminder that traveling to the US is not guaranteed even for Canadian passport holders. So doing your homework before crossing the border is the best way to avoid delays or complications. And for the most current information, you visit the Government of Canada's travel advisory page and consult US foreign representatives in Canada, as well as
Mm-hmm.
working with your travel advisor, because we all know that people like to book their own trip, but
Mm-hmm.
that's when you really are on your own.
True. To me, I think it's like I read some of the headlines, and I think Canadians don't realize how good they had it
Oh,
traveling
yeah.
to the US. Like, especially now that you've come back from being halfway around the world and the entry requirements that you had to go through to get to Australia, for example, and a lot of the other entry requirements, because you're on a cruise, a lot of that's taken care of for you. And
Mm-hmm.
now being a travel advisor, firsthand what the entry requirements are for other countries. I just saw a headline about Brazil, where Canadians need a visa to get into Brazil. So
Mm-hmm.
I go back to my point about I don't think we realize how good we had it going to the U.S. And in some cases I think we were kind of spoiled, and it's like having a kid. Where the parent takes the candy away from the kid, and that might be a little bit dramatic on my part, but that's the impression I kind of get.
Well, yeah, times are changing, that's for sure. And we're seeing that throughout the world as well as going into the US. Um, so is it, I guess at the end of the day, sometimes it just boils down to perception is reality. And if you see something on news media that, is pretty dramatic or, is heightening a situation, you're going to think that's just the way it is. But information is power. So, get your facts first before you panic.
Absolutely. And two, if you want to go to the United States, go. Like, by
Mhm.
all means, it's a personal choice, I think. If you don't want to for a personal choice, that's your choice as well. The people that I met in Louisiana and Kentucky, they're all very warm, welcoming people. And, I don't think you should judge a whole country based on one person's policies, put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I don't think um, the tourism industry in the US, they're feeling the effect if Canadians decide not to travel. So, of course, they want you to come. But as you say, the administration now in power does make you question your decision about where to travel. But I think at the end of the day, travel, go wherever, maybe the US isn't a point of interest now, but there's other places in the world that are definitely, good value for Canadians, like Japan, like
Hmm.
Australia, going to Indonesia and Asia. So think about that. Don't let one destination stop you from traveling, because you never know when the world will change.
This is very true. Always good advice. Onanta Forbes is a travel expert. You can follow her on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Onanta Forbes. OnantaForbes.com is her website. Good chatting, Onanta.
Thank you.
Well, described as a world-famous, stunning French Polynesian island, Bora Bora might rank as one of the most beautiful places on the planet. And one person who wrote about it is travel writer and blogger Linda King. She is the founder of the Smart Travelista website, smarttravelista.com. And that's where you'll find her blog about the 5 best attractions to visit in Bora Bora. And Linda joins us now to talk about Bora Bora. Hi, Linda.
Hi, Randy. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm excited to learn about Bora Bora.
You wrote about it on your website, thesmarttravelista.com. Bora Bora, French Polynesia, 5 best attractions to visit. I'm sure there's more than 5, but you've narrowed it down, so I'm excited to learn about this. How many times have you been to Bora Bora?
I've only been once, but yeah, it was just an absolutely awesome and fantastic place. Once in a lifetime destination, in my opinion.
Well, I always get this idea that, well, you're in Australia, I'm in North America. It is a lot closer to Australia, Bora Bora, that is, than it is North America. I always kind of think it's like the Hawaii of North America, and maybe I've got it wrong that people go there all the time.
No, well, you're right. It is a bit closer. Being in Australia, we're closer to the South Pacific, but it is a little bit more remote. So, say you go to Tahiti, Papeete, Bora Bora is that little bit further away, so it's a little bit more remote. But I'd say it's sort of in the middle of the South Pacific. If you want to, you've got your Honolulu, which is more closer to the States, and then you've got some other islands, like Vanuatu and Cook Islands, which are more closer to Australia. So it's sort of in the middle, not exactly in the middle, but just around there. But yeah, absolutely fantastic place, and I recommend anyone go there, even if it's just once.
Well, let's talk about the 5 best attractions to visit that you wrote about on your website, which again is thesmarttravelista.com. Let's start with Bloody Mary's. That sounds like a fun place.
Yeah, it's a bar and grill that's world famous. So a lot of the Hollywood and also other celebrities have been there, and if they've gone to the bar, they get their name on a wall of fame. So it's the place to be. When I actually went there, we didn't see anyone famous, unlucky for me, but yeah, and it's just really a place now where travellers go there to admire the Wall of Fame and just to have a really nice drink and something to eat. And so yeah, everyone's like, "Where's Bloody Mary's? Got to go to Bloody Mary's."
Is it a big place? Would you be impressed by the size, or is this kind of underwhelming, the size of it?
It's not as big as I expected it to be, but it's still okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
you're greeted with this big wall of fame as you're walking through, and then you go through into the back. Um, Look, I think it's been around for a long time, so it may have been different a few years back, but no,
Hmm.
it's still a good place.
Well, it sounds kind of cool. And just some of the names, you have an image on your story here. Olivia Newton-John, Dudley Moore, Susan Anton. I mean, the list goes on and on. The Carpenters. If you get to put your name up there, then it's kind of like a rite of passage in the celebrity world, I suppose, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think towards the end of the list we've got Leonardo DiCaprio. So, yeah, we've got all sorts of stars on there. But yeah, it's I think it's just the go-to for anyone, whether you're a star or just a normal person.
Let's talk about the next on the list, Matira Beach. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes, yeah. This is a stunning place. It's been voted the best in Bora Bora, and also in the world. Um, and it's interesting, when you go to Tahiti, they do have some white, really, really, really clear white sandy beaches, but they've also got some really dark sandy beaches, so really black, almost charcoal color sand. But this one is just totally stunning. I think of, the places where you see those beautiful postcards and the beautiful turquoise water. You can imagine what Madeira Beach is like. And it's got a lot of snorkeling too. You'll see people with their reef shoes having a bit of a walk out and doing a bit of snorkeling. But yeah, just an absolutely stunning and beautiful place.
You write on there that a lot of the best hotels and resorts are located right along the beach strip. Is that where you stayed, or where did you stay when you were there?
I stayed at an Airbnb, so we don't have the money to be doing some of the more exclusive places. Look, if you've got a few $10,000 US to drop, then you could probably stay in one of those overwater bungalows. But yeah, it's not something that I did. But look, um, I think the thing with Bora Bora, depending on your budget, it's still affordable. You can still go.
Mm-hmm. I know I'm not going to pronounce this right. Manahuni Bay.
Yeah, you did it well, Randy. Yeah, this is a really beautiful place. It's pretty much almost one of the highest points. Well, actually, probably the second highest point, and it's just absolutely stunning. The view that you get from here is just beautiful. Again, picture postcard. I went up in a 4-wheel drive, so I was on a day tour. And it was a bit of a scary ride, I have to say. The roads were very steep, and some of the roads were just broken rock, which you can imagine trying to navigate up with a 4-wheel drive,
Mm-hmm.
which was a bit nerve-wracking. But when we got to the top, it was like, oh, that was all worth it when I got there. But it was just a totally stunning view up there.
Oh, I'm sure it is. How big of an island are we talking about here? Is it easy to get around? Is Manahuni Bay close to the beach that we were talking about? Is it all within, like, not far from each other?
What I would say, you're probably better off going on a tour. That's what I found best. You can do a bit of walking around, but the distances between the different attractions is quite large. So you're going to either need to hire a car or get someone to take you around there that's sort of more of a local. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it depends on how long you've got there. If you've got a few days there, then you could probably, take it slow and then go to the attractions separately. But yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I think the best way, if you've got limited time, would be to go on a tour which takes you around to all these spots.
Okay, let's talk about the overwater bungalows. They're not cheap, I get.
No, absolutely not. And look, if you've got a really high budget, I would definitely go there. A lot of these overwater bungalows have actually got their own little snorkeling areas. So what I did see when I was there was people with their snorkel gear, and they would just come out of their underwater bungalow and then go and do a bit of snorkeling. So it's sort of like your own private little area where you can do whatever you like there. And obviously, with all the beautiful marine life and stuff. But yeah, saw quite a few people. Probably I was wishing that I was them, that I had my own overwater bungalow where I could do my own personal snorkeling. But yeah, no, you see them everywhere. As soon as you come into Bora Bora, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously they're attached to a lot of the luxury hotels. But I suppose it's the ultimate, if that's on their bucket list, then yeah, save up for it. That's what I would say.
Yeah, absolutely right. If you're going to go all that way, you might as well
Mm,
treat yourself.
yeah.
Last on the list, but certainly not least, I'm sure, Mount Oatman. Is that how I pronounce it? Or Odeman?
I think you can say it however you like. Mount Oderman, yeah. So this is the highest point in Bora Bora. It's an old extinct volcano, and it's a place that people love to go visit. And obviously, absolutely stunning scenery there, which is pretty much, I would cover the whole of Bora Bora as a stunning experience for scenery. But yeah, it's absolutely a great place, and a little bit of history involved as well. If you're interested in seeing what volcanoes look up close by, then that would be the perfect place to go.
Seems to me it's one of those places where the weather is always nice, 365 days of the year, so it doesn't matter when you go.
Yeah, yeah. You just got to be careful though. If it's funny, the days that I was there, it was the most hottest days of the year. And obviously I had my sun hat with me, but it can get very, very hot. So it's just about having your sunscreen, your big hat. Also, mosquitoes, depending on the time of the year also. So it's just about making sure that you're covered. But yeah, I can't rave about it more. It's just such a stunning place. It's got that really remote feel about it. It's, sort of a bit untouched, I suppose, even though people do go
Hmm.
there. It's got that untouched feel about it. And, if you're into slow travel or sort of more mindfulness was probably the perfect place for you. It's not suffering over tourism at the moment, and absolutely, a great place to visit.
Well, I'm sure it doesn't get many negative reviews, the way you're talking about it. Getting back to Bloody Marys, though, just for a second, what did you eat there? What was the food like?
Food was lovely. I just had my normal, your normal hamburger and chips and that sort of stuff. I tend to stick to those sorts of things when I travel. I've got food allergies, so I've got to be really careful what I eat. But I know
Mm-hmm.
my things that I can and can't eat. So I stuck to that. But yeah, it was just phenomenal. And just dreaming about all the Hollywood stars that were there as well. That was quite a good
I
a
walked
good
along the
little.
place that Leonardo DiCaprio walked.
Yeah, just hoping that someone would come through the door. But sometimes wishes don't come true. But just actually stepping foot in there was enough for me. It was like, okay, this is a famous place,
Mm-hmm.
as you would anywhere else in the world, Randy. Places um, that are renowned and infamous. It's like, yeah, I've been there. I can mark that off my bucket list.
Yeah, exactly. Well, people can read about it on your website, thesmarttravelista.com. Bora Bora, French Polynesia, 5 best attractions to visit. I'm sure there's more. Maybe you'll have to write a sequel or something like that, Linda, hey?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I will.
Linda King is author, travel writer, and travel blogger. Again, her website, thesmarttravelista.com. Lots of articles on there, too, not just Bora Bora. Thank you for your time, Linda. I really appreciate it.
All good, Randy. Have a great day.
This is the Informed Traveler Podcast. I'm Randy Sharman. Just want to remind you of our website, theinformedtraveler.org. That's where you'll find our contact page if you have any questions or comments about the podcast. You can also email me, too, with any questions you might have. My email address is randy@theinformedtraveler.org. And if you want to get up-to-date travel info through the week or just see a few amusing travel stories and links, you can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/informedtraveler, on Instagram at Informed Traveler, or on X at Informed Traveler. Plus, you can now sign up for our monthly newsletter. It's released at the beginning of every month, although our April issue is a little bit late, but it's available now. And this month, we are going to discuss some of the issues traveling to the U.S. right now. So just go to our website, theinformedtraveler.org, click on the newsletter button, it'll take you right there, or better yet, subscribe to it and have it arrive in your inbox each month. So now, as always, we like to end the show with our weekly roundup. Joining us to do that is Ken Stewart from Crowfoot Travel Solutions. Good day, sir.
Hello, Randy. Hello, everybody. And been a while since we chatted, but looked like your adventure down to the southern USA was a really good trip.
It was awesome. Louisiana is amazing. It's like there's things in Louisiana that you can only do there, food you can only eat there, and the people are amazing. So yes, people want to find out more, they can obviously check the podcast that I did when I was down there, or check out some of the videos on our Facebook and Instagram pages. But overall, yeah, very, very fun trip.
Yeah, I think everybody pretty much thinks of New Orleans when they think of Louisiana. But again, there is so much more to do in the whole state, right?
Yeah, we were actually Lake Charles is actually only about a 20-30 minute drive from the Texas border, so you are at the other end of Louisiana from New Orleans, but you can drive the Highway 10 that goes right across the whole state. So if you want to tour the whole state, it's really easily done.
Excellent. Well, while you're gone, we had quite a few seminars over the last few weeks. So one of them was Loretto Tourism, and I know you've been there. They're in town. It's a great region in what they call the Baja California Sur. Not be confused with Baja, California, which is the other side, the other state. But again, a lot of people, when they think of the Baja California Sur, we think of Los Cabos. So we're a little bit north, but on the inside coast. And it's a smaller town, all kinds of hotel options. Only one real all-inclusive, but most people that we talk to, and I know I've got some clients, and I know you know who I'm talking about, they've been back several times or whatever. It's really laid back. but it's got a fabulous reputation for water activities with the Loretto Bay National Park. It was nicknamed the Aquarium of the World by Jacques Cousteau. A lot of younger people might know who that is, so Google him. He was a famous diver and oceanographer. So again, you can picture yourself diving or snorkeling on pods of dolphins, sea turtles, whales. I know my daughter, when she was down there, they did a day trip from Cabo and went up and swam with the whale sharks, which she said was just unbelievable. So again, you want to take a break, you can actually do some fishing, you can take in some golf, you could do some hiking in the surrounding deserts and hill area. It really does have something for everybody.
It does, and that's an overused statement, but it really does. I will say the food is amazing. If you want fresh food, not just seafood, but fresh vegetables that are grown locally, most of them picked that day, or the fish that's caught that day. It truly is a great place. And yeah, it's quieter, much quieter. If you're looking for the party scene that Cancun has, you're not going to find it there. And very safe to walk around too. You'll see people out not so late at night, but after dark, and it's not a big deal. It's really is a beautiful place.
And easy to get to during our winter season, because WestJet's our friends have direct flights right into Loretto.
Yes,
So
they do.
Again,
Mm-hmm.
you do. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And you could even do the combo if you're interested. You wanted to check it out one time, you could do a combo of Cabo and Loretto.
You can.
Think about that.
Yes, it's about a 5-hour drive north of Cabo. So.
G Adventures also came to town to visit, one of our preferred partner and a Canadian company. With all that talk about U.S. stuff that's going on right now, we're not going to talk politics. But they've got over 800 plus small group tours covering all 7 continents. And they're still celebrating 35 years of business this year. One of the few suppliers who have no solo supplements. Unless you prefer to have your own room or space, and there's a slight one, you can book your own room. But even at those rates, they're not really expensive. They're teaming up with National Geographic on many of the tours. That makes it a bit more special because you have naturalists and all that kind of different people that are joining you on your tour, helping you understand everything. But picture yourself, you could be ziplining, repining down a waterfall in Costa Rica, getting up close and personal with the Big Five in Africa. Hiking or biking, if that's your thing. There's lots of that going on, and booking them is really easy. Again, if you've got a large family, so we're talking eight. That's not hard to do nowadays, especially with friends or anything like that. We can do a group tour, and like I say, unless it contains a ship or a vessel, you can actually even sometimes pick your dates, and they'll do that tour exclusively for your little group. So right now, you can save up to 25% on tours, only for us Canadians to travel with G Adventures.
Nice. Awesome.
Again, now, if you got some time to get away between now and October 31st, Air Canada Vacations is a BOGO offer for you on their sun destinations. 50% off the second passenger for the air, and also included on their air and cruise packages. 50% off the second flight with those. New bookings made by April 27th, so we still have some time for that. Or again, maybe you're ready to look and book for next fall and winter season. We've just about got the season loaded in our systems. They're offering you up to $400 a family, so $100 a person on all their new bookings beside any sales or anything that's going out there. So don't forget, you always earn your Aeroplan points. And if you have some of those to use, like myself and Randy, you can convert them into Air Canada gift cards and pay for all or part of your vacation, depending on how many you've got to use.
Excellent.
Oceania Cruises, sailing in luxury without paying that luxury cruise pricing. They've got 66 cruises sailing the Mediterranean, Rome, Athens to see the sights. Maybe you want to do something a little bit more exotic. Lisbon to Cape Town. I think that one would be really cool. Starting up in Europe and going down along the coast, ending up down in Africa. Cape Town, across and through all the islands and everything, to Singapore for 24 days. More Southeast Asia, Bali, Hong Kong. You can just imagine the sights and food. You can add the waters of the South Pacific, Papeete to Bali, or try Papeete over to Honolulu. And again, one of the few cruise lines that are small enough that they can sail down in the South Pacific with their restrictions. And right now they've got a Canadian Par sale where savings are up to 30%, include free gratuity, specialty dining, Wi-Fi, and more. And again, with 66 itineraries to choose from, I'm sure we can find one that's going to suit what you're looking for.
Sure, you probably could.
TTC family, and when we say them, you're going to recognize the names: Insight Vacations, Trafalgar, Brendan Vacations, which is the Ireland specialist, Cost Saver, Uniworld is a river cruise sister. They've got over 3,200 guaranteed departure dates and itineraries per year. That's a lot. Holy cow.
I'm sure you can find one there too.
Exactly. If we can't, I don't know if you and I are going to be able to work together. No offense to anybody. Past guests also receive additional pricing bonuses beside what they have when they have their sales or anything. But if you know the product or even just want to find out a little bit more, reach out to me. I'm going to get you registered or send you a link to register. They're coming to Calgary on Monday, May the 26th from 7 to 9 at the Blackfoot Inn. And like some of the cruise line companies like Scenic and those guys who come to town or whatever, you come out, you learn, ask some questions directly from the source, and I'm sure they're going to have some offers there. They're going to make it worth your time for those couple of hours.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like to be pampered? I know I do. Maybe massage at your spa. You like to eat really well. I know I like to eat really well. I know you like to eat really well. Have all your activities and sports included, like golfing, snorkeling, diving, just to name a few, or you just want to sit on the beach and hold down that beach chair. I enjoy doing that as well, and have everything brought to you. Maybe you want to really spoil yourself. How about a room with your own butler? They'll draw the bath, throw a few rose petals in there for you. You just have to come in, go in. Actually, I had a story of one guy who was a runner, and he went running one day or whatever, and he blew out his socks. He came back from his lunch, and there's a brand new pair of socks sitting on his bed from his butler.
How do you blow out your socks running?
Well, I guess you could, if they're getting thin, you wear them out, right? Yeah, if you're running every day. Anyway, I thought that was a pretty cool story. Brand new pair of socks sitting on his bed for him. Central Resort, we've got over 17 resort properties all through the Caribbean, Jamaica, Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, Barbados, Grenada, Aruba, St. Vincent. We got you covered. If you've got lots of time, let's try one of each. Right now, they've got book a 7-day stay, save up to $1,100, that's US, plus one free night, $150 resort credit. Plus, if they've got some other savings on any of those resorts, you can combine them and get another up to 65% off. So choose.
Wow. Yeah, that's good.
Choose your getaway. Lots to choose from. Again, could never talk about this enough. The importance of working with an agent and having travel insurance. Double dip. Especially when you could have so many more reasons to use it. Even just for traveling out of province in Canada, you could get a bill depending on what your circumstances are, not just traveling abroad. A couple months ago, quick examples here, we had a group of 14 traveling to South America on a mission trip. They got to Toronto, the weather was really, really bad. Their flights were canceled. They were reticketed for 3 days later, which would have been, a good quarter of the trip. So they all had insurance. So they reached out, they contacted Mile Life, advised they could rebook new flights for the next day, and also had their overnight hotels in Toronto covered, all covered.
Nice.
Another client just a couple of weeks ago broke her ankle the day before leaving on a 10-day cruise. I told Kath she can't do this anymore. They had insurance, but they decided they were going to go anyways. They were covered if she, wasn't able to go, but they decided to go. They went anyways, but again, you never know what's going to happen. On board, she developed an infection and got kidney stones.
Oh my gosh.
Kath. Feel for you.
Yeah.
But saw the doctor on board the ship and everything, and Manulife is covering all her costs. So again,
perfect. Yeah. Better to have it and not need it, as we always say.
Exactly. And a big shout out and thank you to all our clients and to you, hopefully new clients that are listening each week. Remember to like both our Crowfoot Travel and the Informed Traveler Facebook pages. Check them out along with our websites. I know you do a great job of keeping up to date on everything that's going on with travel situations and on our site. We usually repost those or share those. And we're also going to have some travel stories, some tips and tricks and advice, along with some great travel offerings that we may not be able to mention on the show. So again, thank you all for listening.
Good stuff. How do people get a hold of you?
Ken at Crowfoot Travel Solutions, 403-241-7140. Or if you're outside Calgary, you can call us toll free, 1-877-511-5511. Then you too can relax. It's all taken care of.
Indeed, sir.
Have a great week, everyone.
And that is our show for this week. If you have comments or questions, we'd love to hear from you. If you have a show idea, send that along as well. My email is randy@theinformedtraveler.org. And if you like what you heard, tell a friend. You can check out our website too at theinformedtraveler.org. In the meantime, thanks for listening, travel safe, and be an informed traveler.